Hello, I'm Dave Webb, the convener of the Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space, and we are gathering online today to remember and celebrate the life of our good friend and comrade, known to us as Rao, who unfortunately passed away in India during the COVID pandemic. Rao was on the board of the Global Network for many years and coordinated and directed the work of the Global Network in India. The proceedings will include memories from Global Network members, friends, and family, and will be directed by Dr. Aruna Kamala from Visakhapatnam. But first, I'm going to ask Bruce Gagnon to make a short introduction.
All right. My name is Bruce Gagnon. I'm the coordinator of the Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space. I want to start with a story about when I first met Rao. As it turns out, he came unknown to us to a meeting of the Global Network, our annual meeting in Darmstadt, Germany. And he just showed up and he approached me and handed me several pamphlets that he had created about space issues. And he told me that he had copied them at his own personal expense and sent them around India to various people. And I was just really amazed that this guy had done all this just on his own initiative. Very few people do things like that, especially sending things out through an entire country, especially as big as India is. And so I learned very quickly that Rao was a very, very dedicated and great organizer. And he became very soon after that one of our key leaders in the Global Network. He began inviting various members of our organization to come to India to speak. Myself and Mary Beth Sullivan, Tamara Lorenz, Dave Webb, Will Griffin, and others as well, and would take us to colleges, to universities, to medical schools. I remember one time he took me to this medical school started by Gandhi, actually, way out in the country somewhere. And there were hundreds and hundreds of medical students me to talk to them about the dangers of nuclear power in space from kind of a medical perspective. He was just amazing. The thing about Rao too was that he was so committed and so honest, and his spirit was very dear. I really began to love him like a brother, an uncle, and a father, sort of all combined. I will miss him terribly, terribly, because I really relied on him so much in so many ways. And he really established chapters of the Global Network in various parts of India and even into Nepal. He took several of us to Nepal one year, and a chapter was created in Kathmandu as a result of that. So, but one of my favorite trips that I ever had with Rao was he took me to Kashmir, which was in and of itself, the journey was just a remarkable experience for a guy that grew up in the United States. But the most amazing thing was we went during the time of martial law, when virtually the entire trip, Indian military were assigned to, like every 100 yards or so, there would be military along the highway on the way to Kashmir. When we got there, the city was locked down. We were originally to go to the university, but he still got me in there. He still had me meet with the president of the university and other people. He had me meet with reporters while we were there. So it was not a wasted trip in any way, just an amazing experience. But the thing I learned about Rao is he was connected everywhere. He knew people all over the place. He frequently would take me to meet with politicians, elected officials in the Indian parliament and would have me talk to them about space. They would provide lunch for us. It was just amazing. Remembering that Rao was a simple man, a railroad worker, a union man, but he had access to everyone. So I'm so glad that we're gathered today to hear from Rao's family and friends and other leaders of the global network. And it's a great honor to be part of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for your wonderful words. And he has been very inspirational and encouraging to every one of us. And today, along with his family members, there are many others who have actually accompanied him in taking forward this mission of global network. And they have wonderful experiences with Rao to share with all of us. So first of all, I would like to request everyone to introduce themselves before they speak, and they can share their experiences. So, Mr. Jammu Anand, please, could you speak and share your...
I thought this is an opportunity to listen all others to whom I was not knowing in person, because I was very much aware of the fact that Comrade Narayana Rao was one of the important key functionaries of global network, and his tireless work in spreading the message and taking the global network to various corners of the country, I know. And many a times I used to hear a lot of uh, praises and about Bruce Gagnon. And today I felt, though it is a condolence meeting, but I would get an opportunity to listen, to see at least, because uh, though I am a I'm a full-time activist, but my area was basically dedicated to unorganized sector workers. Though I was equally concerned about what Comrade Narayan Rao, my father, has been concerned about global peace, nuclear arms, anti-nuclear weapon, everything. But as he prioritized his area of uh, activity, so many a times he used to uh, influence me in a sense. I be also be part of this global network, but somehow my engagements uh, did not allow me. Yes, live apart as a son or he as a father. We had a very professional relationship.
కాదు మైక్రోఫోన్ మ్యూట్ లో ఉంది ఇప్పుడు దానికి ట్యాప్ చేస్తే దాని స్క్రీన్ కి ట్యాప్ చేస్తే నీ ఫోటో కనిపిస్తుంది
Unmute please. So yes, I got this opportunity to observe, to see him with a very closed eyes, and he was a very dedicated sort of an activist. Uh, Whatever issue, whatever organization, whatever work he undertakes, he with full dedication and tirelessly, selflessly, he used to take forward those activities. And he was very honest to his own commitments, and he was very committed comrade. And a great thing about his is uh, being he's a railwayman, uh, and very closely associated with railway workers and issues and the movement and the trade union. He is the comrade who could really cross the border. Generally, it's very difficult for trade unionists to cross their borders. But somehow, Comrade Narendra Rao could prove this if one decides they can really cross the borders, expand their horizons, they can expand their activities, and can do the justice also. So he is by conviction also. He was not so he was not participating in these activities emotively. He was basically participating with full conviction because he was of the firm opinion that imperialism, which basically uh, pushes the world into arms race, or the imperialism which establishes its hegemony on the basis of arms, how it affects the overall development of the various countries, nations, how directly or indirectly the money spent on weaponization has basically makes the common man life more disastrous. And many a times, though I cannot say to him anything because it was his choice, many a time I used to think, he, is he a nuclear scientist? How, on what basis he can take such positions and so much keen interest as if he's a nuclear scientist? But he was a social activist, so he used to take these issues, how it impacts the common man. And to be frank enough, he was very honest throughout his life. Being in public life, when honest, is not so easy. It's basically a big challenge to oneself to defy the social values or the present values of the system, which makes very corrupt. So he was very honest, and he actually, uh, by heart, by heart, he always felt that he should always come to some sort of an help to overcome the disability of the poor people, the people who are ignorant, the people who cannot even read and write, who cannot even make their case present before the authorities. So he was like self appointed, in a way, uh, uh, advocate for them. And he personally take keen interest, take out time, energy, and he will do everything, and he will see that a issue which has taken, that issue reaches to some logical end. And it's not so easy to a man who has no background as such to take up the issue of nuclear arms race and nuclearization of outer space, and then take up those issues to the universities. See, the fantastic part of his travel is he could establish a good rapport with the academic world. And this academic world generally don't uh, accept or appreciate if a person has no academic background. But uh, his study, his commitment, and the way he used to put his views, the other person can immediately judge this man is speaking from his heart. He is just not making these attempts for his namesake, for his fame. He is somehow want to convince the people how important the issue on which he is, in a way, talking about. So one can judge about his honesty, about his transparency. So it is very wonderful thing to organize seminars, workshops with youngsters, with students in the universities. So, in a way, he brought a good name for railway employees, because ultimately he was a railway employee, and a railway employee can really go beyond his uh, fiefdom, and he can go at the international level. He can establish his links at the international level, and a railwayman can really talk from those forums where it is very difficult to even dream for. So he was very dedicated, and always he used to uh, influence, bring in the peace movement newer people, irrespective of ideological backgrounds of the people. He used to, in a way, make his subject. He used to introduce, and somehow he could bring to them for some sort of an unanimity. Okay, fine. You may be having some other ideology which I may not subscribe, but do you agree that this spending on arms is a waste? Do you feel? Do you agree this planet should be free of wars? Wars destroys. So here everybody has to agree. So then he says, okay, fine. On these mutually understanding, acceptable issues, we can work together. That is how he could, uh, you know, uh, add people. He could win over people, and he never felt shy of asking help to organize. He will go with a uh, empty hands, and he used to say, "See, we want to organize this event, and we want a help from you." So he was such a open, such a transparent person, and he used to bring a small magazine also. He used to write, he used to type, he used to get it printed, he used to see that small magazine is posted, and he also used to follow it up. Have you received that edition? Yes, 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 yes. So he is a person who was enjoying uh, tireless work, and he really left uh, such a great values behind him, and somehow I think those values had direct or indirect influence on us also, and somehow I prefer to remain as a whole timer since my students movement days, and my brother opted for a service, but he's very honest in his service. He's very committed. So to remain honest, honesty is a life. I think this has somewhere come from my father and his life. So yes, I don't consider only that we lost father. More importantly, is a finest human being, finest human being. We all have lost. So this much I can express. Thank you for uh, giving this opportunity and remembering and including in this condolence meeting. Thank you very much. I think you are Professor Aruna.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much for a wonderful. Uh, it's like a bird's eye view of Rao's personality, which you have given. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. Now I request Jammu Ramesh to say a few words.
I am Ramesh Jammu, younger son of Mr. Rao. All of you, good hello.
Yes, we could hear
Hello.
you. Please. Yes, we could hear you.
Yes, you speak. You speak.
Yeah. Father was a railway employee first. He joined railways in 1970. Thereafter, he attracted to the peace movement in 1986. He was the member of All India Peace and Solidarity Organization, Nagpur chapter, which is affiliated to World Peace Council. He attended one international peace conference organized by the World Peace Council at Copenhagen, Denmark, in the year 1986. Thereafter, around in the year 2000-2003, he was introduced himself in a global network due to Sir Bruce Gagnon. Thereafter, he dedicated his peace movement purely toward the nuclear-free outer space and attended several meetings around the world, twice to New York, once to France, once he went to Korea also, till his several days. He also addressed the students in different universities, leading them and motivating them to join the peace movement, how important it is to keep the outer space a nuclear-free zone. Once he organized the meet of Bruce Sir at Nagpur. They went to Sevagram Gandhi Ashram also. We have a very live memories of Bruce Gagnon sir. And once Tamra madam also came to Nagpur. Till his age of 85, he dedicated his services for the peace movement along with his work for the railway pensioners. He has twofold activity, passion for pensioners and peace movement. His quest for all the youths and students to join peace movement. He wanted to start the students chapter in Nagpur and several parts of India. My side, my mother is sitting here.
Hello, madam. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, madam. I have just completed what I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir. And I request if there is anyone else, your sister, if she wishes to speak something, she may. I learned that she, Usha, I think, she
Yeah,
wants to.
my elder sister.
Yes, please.
Usha is in Vizag. Yes.
Yes, I request.
Usha.
And my son is also there, Mr. Rohit Jammu.
Hello.
Usha, we can hear you. You start speaking.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Tejamma, no continue chaiye.
My global network meeting.
Hi everyone, I am Techri. I am the elder granddaughter of Jammu Narayana Rao. He is my grandfather. And I really thank everyone for organizing and joining this meeting because it is very less. I am lost of words to talk about him because I'm sorry.
That's fine. We understand.
He has been a biggest support to everyone, to every corner of the world. Whoever has asked him any kind of help or support or any guidance, he has always been there. So it is very tough to accept this truth, though it's been 10 days. And yeah, it is. We cannot describe what he has done to the society, to the family members, to his friends, to his well-wishers. He has always given his 100%. He has always given his efforts beyond his efforts and abilities in whatever he has chose to. So yes, I wish that this his momentum keeps on continuing with everybody's support. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we all wish God may give you more strength to bear His loss. And apart from this, we are helpless and we all feel the loss so much. Thank you so much for your words. And Bruce, there are other members who have joined from like Yasuo Wagato from Japan. I think if there is anyone who's actually running late or something, I think we have to give opportunity to them, considering the timeline. So I request Ogata, if he is there, to speak.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Rao was a close friend and comrade of mine in peace movement for more than 2 decades. He participated in the World Conference against A and H bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima several times at our invitation. In turn, I participated in the peace conferences and lecture meetings in India, especially on Mahatma Gandhi. So our friendship was born and bred in these cooperative exchanges. I always appreciate his outstanding ability and ardent passion for peace cause. He guided me to have contact with the global network. So it was indeed thanks to Rao that I got to know the GN and began to take part in the several meetings since 2016. So I'm newcomer for GN. Rao is no longer on the ground. Now, rest in peace. However, Rao is and will be forever with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ogata. Thank you so much. And I request if there is anyone who wishes to speak first, I request them to come forward and take this opportunity.
I will speak, Aruna.
Yes, please.
Mr. Narayana Rao actually
Prabhakar,
belongs to a.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Prabhakar. All GN members would be known to me because I have in touch with all the people for more than 10 years. So I am a retired joint director employment and training and working for a global network for the past 20 years with Narayana Rao. Actually, Narayana Rao is a magnificent personality. He came from a rural backdrop district of Srikakulam, where there is no education facility. Then he shifted to Visakhapatnam, Mrs. Xavier College, where is the only one and only college which is educating at the times. Before 50 years, he is a graduate. Then he got a job in railways. So such a towering personality, I don't understand from the weakest, lowest educated, only 30% of the people are educated in Srikakulam district at that time. That time, for this towering personality, went to World Peace Conference with Ramesh Chandra, one of the greatest personalities of the world. First, as Jammu Ramesh told, Budapest, he went to attend a World Peace Conference there. He is a member of All India Peace and Solidarity Organization, which is affiliated to World Peace Council, and it's an organ of Communist Party. Basically, he's a fighter. Though he's an employee in the railways, he participated in several union struggles. He attracted many Communist Party leaders also into the global network and peace movement. So I don't understand, as Jammu Anand told, how he got the accessibility to reach universities, several universities in India, several universities. In the Gandhi Geetam Institute of Management, this university, we have conducted an excellent World Peace Conference. Bruce Gagan and Webber, everybody attended there. So many law universities, as Professor Aruna is also conducted. She was also inducted in a global network movement and a world peace movement because of Mr. Narayana Rao's towering personality. He never tried to attend any kind of meeting in Visakhapatnam. Every time he comes to Visakhapatnam or Indore or Madhya Pradesh or capital city of Orissa, Bhubaneswar, everywhere he wanted to go and interact with the young people to involve them into peace movement. So any employees also, he never used to lose any employee in Visakhapatnam. There is an insurance company manager, Mr. Lakshman Rao, is also a member of our global network. Many of us, somebody is from technology, somebody is from services. He also organized a industrial institute through his relatives. When I saw a picture at his home, there are at least 100 members of there from his family. He is only the center point for the 100 members development, education and economic development of the. As for Indian context, I astonished the personalities development. He belongs to a depressed class where there is education is not available, economics are not available. But he rose, he fought all the odds. But bad luck, our bad luck is he fought and win the cancer for 2 years and succumbed to death because of this global pandemic. Really, it's a very sad moment for the world peace movement and India also. But the spirit of Mr. Narayana Rao will continue, and we will continue the spirit of Mr. Narayana Rao in India and across the globe also. We will support the global network forever. Thank you, Aruna.
Thank you, Prabhakar garu. Thank you so much.
Madam, can I speak? Can I speak a few words?
Yes, please.
Lakshman Rao.
Yes.
Lakshman Rao.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Lakshman Rao. Now I'm an advocate in Visakhapatnam. So I respect to Mr. Bruce Gagnon and also respected to Peter Kuznick, Professor Peter Kuznick and Ogato and other many members. So it is an impressive talk made by many. Now I pay my last respects towards the great soul, rest in peace, Narayana Rao. So we worked together in many ways in Visakhapatnam. Not only Visakhapatnam, other places also we went. And this last time, twice I met Bruce Gagnon sir. We conducted a great meeting in Geetam Law University and also this DSNLU, Dr. Sanjeevaya Law University at Visakhapatnam. So Andhra University we went with Peter Kuznick sir, and we went so many junior colleges and senior colleges to propagating regarding the global network aims and objectives. the more valuable objectives are made to them. The students are got inspired, and such a way, Narayana Rao garu inspired us in many ways to join in this organization. Way back a few years, he inspired in many ways. So regarding the objectives of the global network, then we became a members in this organization. From that onwards, we traveled many places, and he invited us to go to any foreign countries, but we are not interested to go foreign countries. That is the reason why we stopped, and we made known to junior destruction of the nuclear weapons in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, how made it, and we brought to the notice of the young students, and so many times I went with Narayana Rao garu, and this Andhra University also we visited twice, and this Geetam Law University is really more impressive. More impressively, they are received. One Mr. Law College principal, that Sachinan garu, invited us. There we conducted in a very big way, that your massive student unions or students organizations, they sat together in a disciplined manner. Mr. Ogata present there, and Bruce Gagnon sir is there, and Peter Kuznik sir is there. So they really impressed by seeing the students gathering there such a big way. So they really gave us a very good impression. So after that work, we went nearly some 30 colleges, junior colleges, senior colleges, and 4 universities in Visakhapatnam. They are great universities. Those are that Geetam Law University and this DSNLU, Damar Sanjeeva Law College, Law University. And Madam Aruna garu helped us a lot in conducting the meeting in Damodar Sanjeeva Law University. And Surya Prakash VC, Vice Chancellor. Earlier that Mr. Kesara also, he invited us. Later he transferred to another university. After that, Surya Prakash Rao garu became a VC, and he invited us, and grandiosely he organized that in 2 days in that college. Sir Peter, we accommodated Peter Kuznik sir in Novotel Hotel in Visakhapatnam. 3 days we used to take him to Damodar Sanjeeva Law University. Then we returned in the evening after completing the proceedings. So they invited many parts of the nation. So many professors came and presented their lectures regarding the values of the global network. Thank you very much for the opportunity given me, Miss Aruna garu.
Thank you so much, Lakshman Rao garu. In fact,
Aruna,
we had.
Aruna,
Yes.
I want to speak some.
Yes, please go. Yes.
Myself, Dr. Sanjay Dhanwate. I am working as a principal in college. 5 years ago, it was the first time I met Narayana Rao. He visited my college for the inauguration of the Peace Club, along with the Professor Kruzner. Since I started working with him, both of us visited so many schools and colleges and university, conduct a global network program. Along with the global network, he used to work for the railway workers also. Every time I used to be surprised by his enthusiasm and energy and dedication towards his work in this age. He was a visionary, polite, honest, and great human being. We will miss his positivity, wisdom, and guidance. It is a big loss for global network as well as the society. Now, thinking his work ahead with same energy and dedication can only be the tribute to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Now I request Sung-hee from South Korea. I think it's too late at her place, so I request if she wishes to speak anything. Sung-hee.
Yes, hello. Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Recently I received this book. Yeah. So yeah. It's you edited, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
It's
was
so
the book.
fantastic. And then yeah.
Excuse me. This was the book he was reading last when he was suffered COVID. So he used to read this book only.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
after that, he has even requested me to send more publications. Yeah, if there are any in future.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, for me, Lao is all of you. Lao is here for me. I have known him around more than 10 years so far. And then Bruce was writing that he is organizing something. He is organizing some kind of competition for students. And then he has a plan to give big money for students to come to GN conference. So wow, what kind of this man is? I was always amazed by his passion and lots of plans that I could hardly imagine. And when I see all of you friends from India, and when I see the result of this book, Bruce thankfully sent me, I can think, I just think, oh, how wonderful things Lao has done in his life. He is affecting so many people, including me. And thanks to him, I became to think how to organize my friends in Korea. Taking example of Rao, I don't know what I can do, but he is such an amazing man, where, yeah, I can just say, that we remember him all the time because, we are the result of him, I think. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sanji. Thanks for your wonderful words. And I think Tamara wants to speak next. Tamara from Canada, one of the director of Global Network. Please,
hello, hello, everyone. My name is Tamara Lawrence.
Hello.
I've been involved with the Global Network for 18 years, and I'm speaking from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. I got to know Rao over 10 years ago. We first met in Nebraska in 2009 at the Global Network conference there. We spoke on a panel together, and then after the conference, we stayed in touch. And in 2014, Rao invited me to Nagpur it was my first time in India, to attend a conference that he organized on youth peace and disarmament. And I could see how effective Rao was as an organizer, and I especially appreciated that he reached out to youth and to students. We also visited several universities, and I spoke to students. And while I was in Nagpur, Rao also took me to Gandhi's ashram, Sevagram, and that was an absolutely phenomenal experience. And there's a beautiful photo I have of Rao and I sitting under the tree, that big, huge tree that Gandhi sat under, and I got to sit under that tree with Rao. And then he also took me to Diksha Bhumi, the Buddhist site and memorial for B.R. Ambedkar. And I really felt that when I was with Rao, that the spirit of Gandhi and Ambedkar, moved through Rao. Rao was really continuing on their important work. And so our job will be to continue Rao's legacy in the work that we continue to do for peace and disarmament and global solidarity and friendship. And finally, I want to say that I know the pain of losing a loved one. I lost my beloved brother 7 months ago in October, and they say that the depth of the grief represents the depth of the love. So I'm sending all of my love to Rao's friends and family, and to everybody in the global network who is grieving Rao's death. And I find it very comforting to be with you all, to honor Rao's life, and to celebrate too all his incredible legacy. And then in closing, I would like to suggest that the global network honor Rao by doing a profile of him in the next Space Alert, and including some of the great pictures that we have of him. And maybe we could also put the slideshow that Dave has prepared on the website, so people around the world can see the amazing work that Rao has done throughout his life. And then another idea as a way to memorialize Rao is to consider investing for a youth from India or a family member to come to a global network conference when we can meet again in person. So I am sending my deepest condolences and to my love to Rao's family, and especially to his wife and his children and his grandchildren and all his friends. And it's so nice to be with you all, and I feel very I feel comforted and uplifted, and I hope that you do as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Samara. And I'm very sorry for your loss of your brother's death. Really, very sorry. May the God give you more strength. And
Can I speak?
yes,
No?
please. Yes, yes.
I am Agneta. I come from the high north. I am sort of a brother and sister. Narayana and I were brothers and sisters because we were born the same year. I think we were really comrades in age. So I'm really angry that he...
Very great.
Huh? Don't you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, go on. Please go on.
How dare you leave us, Rao? We had decided to live much longer. So I have to take up your work up in the north. And how is India and the northern Sweden connected? Yes, because he told me that space in India are connected and work in connection with the north of Sweden. So in this global network, we had understood how the world is interconnected by the military. And for me, Rao was so important because when you meet people with flesh and blood, they stand in front of you and talk. It's much better than reading. So this global network has been so enlightening, and Rao was so important. And I would say, how dare you leave us so early? I can't forgive you, but I miss you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your sincere words. Thank you very much.
Very nice words.
Very nice, very sincere.
Aruna, this is Shubroto Khosrai.
Hello.
When you have, maybe I could say a few words.
Yes, please. Please go on. Yes.
Thank you, Aruna, and thank you, everybody. I'm like Rao, I'm of course from India, but in the period that I've been involved with Global Network, I had the misfortune that I didn't have enough interaction with Rao, and listening to his elder son. It was, it's even more of a misfortune because I come from India, from a very leftist family. I grew up in Calcutta in the middle of this tremendous leftist upheaval in the 60s. And so the terms that he used in his talk, such things as whole timer and comrade are terms that I grew up with, and many people probably do not know what a whole timer means. But but it immediately tells of Rao's affiliations with the left in India. And I had one occasion when I was in Hiroshima with everybody in the Global Network, and I participated in the 2015 mission, Atsushi, Bruce, Dave, and others. And Rao and Mrs. Narayana Rao, we were at the same hotel in Hiroshima, and we sat in the evening for, I would say, maybe a couple of hours, and talked about the wide range of topics that will stay with me forever. And I was really expecting to see Rao in Vizag when Aruna organized a conference 2 years ago. But it was again my misfortune that Rao was grievously ill and he couldn't attend the meeting. So I was really, really disappointed and saddened that I didn't have the opportunity. But I think that we meet today at a very critical juncture, not today, the time, for the Indian left, and that it is in very serious difficulty with right-wing government rampaging the country and rampaging the country with their treatment of the coronavirus, of the poor people, and it reminds me of the farmers' blockade in New Delhi that people like Rao I would have talked to find out more. But I'm very pleased to meet Rao's children and granddaughter, and that I'm pleased to learn about Anand being also a whole timer, that I hope we can maintain some contact and know more of your father and yourself in the coming years. And so Rao's memory will live with us. He was a tremendous person, as they said. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice, sir.
Thank you for that. So, is there anyone?
I'm Dr. P. Narayana Rao from
Yes.
Hyderabad. Shall I speak?
Yes, please. Yes.
2 minutes?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm from Hyderabad, and Narayana Rao used to come to Hyderabad frequently to the party office, where I also served as a whole timer, as Subrato has told just now. And he was serving the All India Peace and Solidarity Organization. And he used to come and meet the leaders of the party and also the APSO members. And he was legendary in the Peace and Solidarity Organization. And he has sent me in 2018 to Hiroshima and Nagasaki for the World Conference Against Hydrogen and Atom Bombs, Jansuki organization. And at that time, in that conference, I met Wagata, just who spoke, and he also received as well, I remember. And he's very much active in the All India Peace and Solidarity Organization, writing articles to MIT, and later he was bringing his own newsletter, and he was writing even not only on peace, but also on Gandhiji and the importance of Gandhiji. And what surprised me, as Anand told, his contact with the students. You see, without much academic background, generally the professors and the students, unless one has an attractive personality and the way of dealing with kind heart and dedication, it's very, very difficult for anybody to have constant touch with the students. He also used to tell me to have touch with the students and go to colleges, which I could not able to do. And he used to talk to me, and he spoke with me even 15 days ago also. And I really told that after all, for you, COVID is nothing, and you have defeated the very monstrous disease. But I couldn't believe that he could not succeed in the defeating COVID. But his personality is such one. He used to mingle with all people of all ages. And off late, he used to discuss with me about the state of left movement in India. And he used to lament much about the sad state of affairs. And you see, I pay my homage for him and for his dedication to the peace movement in India and the world at large. And his services will be remembered by each and everybody. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Very nice.
Narayana Rao, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wants to speak?
Yeah, I can speak.
Yes,
Let us call Web.
Regina.
Yeah, my name is Regina Hagen. I come from Darmstadt in Germany. And we organized that conference in 2007, where I met Rao for the first time. And Dave, can you allow me to share the screen?
Please. Yeah.
I checked through my digital photo files and found this photo of Rao from that conference, which was, by the way, taken by Sung Hee, not by me.
Yeah.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So that's when I met Rao first time, and we usually had our global network meetings in Darmstadt, all three of them in March, when it can be really cold, which is a real challenge for Indian visitors. Throughout the years, I didn't meet Rao often, but he did send emails through the listserv we have for the global network in general, but also for the board. And occasionally he would send reports of what he has been doing, or reports and photos of conferences he organized. And I just couldn't believe it. I knew that he had worked for the postal service in India, and that he was not a professor and not a high-level management person, and yet he reached out to just about everyone. And that's something that teaches me a lesson, because I'm often restraining myself by the glass walls and ceilings that are there, the unspoken limits you are given for your sphere of life. I'm no longer young, so I can't talk to students. I'm not a professor, so I can't talk to professors. I'm not a politician. It's difficult to reach out to them. And this kind of border crossing and it teaches me that you shouldn't shy away from leaving your own comfort zone of where you do your political work, but step beyond that. Rao's granddaughter said that he stepped beyond his ability. And I think that's a beautiful phrase. And although I'm very deficient in what I'm doing when I, compared to many people, but especially to Rao, but I think I will make myself a note and have it above, hanging on the wall above the desk, step beyond or go beyond your ability in what you want to do. Because we need people like that to really make a change in the world. So I'm very grateful for having met Rao, and I'm also grateful for having met family and friends of his today and some of the Global Network colleagues, because I think we strengthen each other, and that's what we need nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Very nice words.
Rina, can I say something?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Physics, sir.
Hi, Lakshman.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's nice to see so many old friends. Many of whom I met through Rao.
Yeah, me too, sir.
Meet some new ones.
Yes.
Unlike some of you, I'm not lucky to have known Rao for a long time. He sent me an email back in July of 2017 saying that he had heard me speak several times in Hiroshima and Kyoto and seen some things about me on YouTube that I did. And he asked if we could meet, if I was going to be in Japan. Atsushi Fujioka and I had been taking students to Kyoto, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki at that point every year since 1995. So I met with Rao in Hiroshima in 2017. And then he wrote me again and said he'd now had a chance to watch some of my documentary series and read some of my books with Oliver Stone, The Untold History of the United States. And he asked if I could come to India to do a speaking tour. And I was thrilled at the prospect of going to India for the first time. So I went for the first time in January of 2018. And we got off to a bad start because they wouldn't accept my visa in Delhi. So I had to go to Kathmandu for several days in order to wait for my new visa to get there. But my wife got in, and she and Rao traveled together for the first 3 days. She has some distinct memories of overnight train rides that were a little difficult for her. But then they gave several talks. I was disappointed to miss my talk in Delhi because Arul Gandhi was coming to hear me and to meet with me. So I missed that. But then I joined them several days later in Nagpur. And then we did the next 4 days. Rao had set up talks for me at 8 different colleges and universities. And these were fascinating. Some of the ones would be a couple hours outside of Nagpur, a couple in women's colleges. And I was the first foreigner they'd ever met, the students. But the response was always fabulous. And we get ovation, lots of applause. And sometimes the principal at the school would lead the students in chants for peace afterwards. And the talks I gave then and my subsequent visits to India usually range sometimes 100 or 200 or 400 students, but up to 4,000 students at some of these talks that Rao would organize. And after the talks, he was a great organizer, as Bruce said before, and he would meet with the principals and draw up memorandums of understanding to set up peace clubs at the different universities on the spot. And we would set up this string of peace clubs at these obscure universities with rural students
mostly female, who had, again, never met foreigners before, but were very, very motivated by what Rao was doing. And so it was very, very successful. My subsequent trips, so that was January 2018, the first time. The second time was January 2019. And the third time was October 2019 for the conference that Aruna had organized. The second one was organized by Mrunalini Fandavis, along with Rao. But it was very sad because by January 2019, he was already too sick to join the tour, the speaking tour. And again, of course, in October of 2019. But what I saw of Rao was a man who was so dedicated, austere, humble, and totally dedicated to peace in the abstract as well as concretely, and meeting with students, meeting with professors, setting up these peace organizations, and seeing himself as an envoy, a spokesperson for peace in India, and a very moving person. So I learned a lot from him. And I was so glad to get to meet so many new friends in these visits, and also to be part of helping build this movement in India and elsewhere.
Kuznik sir.
Thank you very much.
Kuznik sir, still students are asking about you.
Well, I would love to come see them again.
Yeah, students are still asking about you, Geetam University and Andhra University. Thank you very much for your presence. If you have next time,
please send them my regards.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And is there anyone else who wants to speak? Please come forward.
What about Webb? Where is Webb?
No, he's coming. He's going to show the PPT. Yes. Dave, I think you can show the PPT now.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to say a few words as well, really. I think, as Peter mentioned just now, the thing that struck me about Rao was his humility. He was an amazing person, considering what he'd done. If you met him, you just wouldn't consider that he was the sort of person who would do all that organizing and all of those speeches that he arranged, all of those visits, all of those tours. He just seemed like an ordinary person, but he was far from that. He was an amazing person, and he will certainly be missed, and we will miss him very much in the global network for his wisdom as well as his organizing skills. So I'll just show this this presentation. It's really from pictures that many of you have sent, and also I hope the music is correct. It was some music we asked for from some of his favorite music, and I hope this just about covers it. So let me see if I can share the screen first of all. Okay. Just thank you for all the pictures you've sent in. We will put, I think it would be a good idea to put that up on the website so you can view it. And we are recording this whole session, and we can also make that available on YouTube or somewhere for people who've missed it. So I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, I think you've had some fantastic speeches, some fantastic memories of Rao, and we all here appreciate the wealth of his experience, of his knowledge, of his organizing capability, and basically his love for what he did for all of us and for the world. Thank you, Rao, for what you have done and what you have achieved and what you've left in our hearts and in our minds. Thank you to the family for actually coming along and giving some of your memories too. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Back to you, Aruna.
Thank you, Dave.
Could I speak a few words from Nepal?
Yes. Please. Go on.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. My few words on the soul of our beloved guardians, G.N. Rao, may remain alive, fresh. His teaching and his missions will remain alive among us, and we expect his words, his teachings will remain always with us. And two memories are, once I went in Visakhapatnam 2 times, and always he appreciated me to attend the meetings, to get the new knowledge about the world, what is happening in the space, where the rich countries, the capitalist countries, they are waging war in space. And while I get participations and get the company of Rao, and I know Rao was a great soul, a great thinker, a simple man, but high thinking. His thinking was very high and very praiseworthy. And while he came, including another participants, Gagnans, Devbev, Griffin, in Nepal, at that time, there was the time was the earthquake, but it was already finished. The situation was calm and quiet. But Rao once imagined about the earthquakes, and at night the earthquake came a little bit, and at that time Bruce Gagnon and we shared in our journey while we were attending to a program at Patan Multiple Campus. There were so many students. The hall was fully filled with the students who were hanging over the windows. And at that time, I remind, he always encouraged the young generation, the youth, and he always tried to motivate students with his words, with his teachings. And mainly, while I attended one meeting in Rasa, the 3 cities, the big cities, and there, while I come back from there, and he wrote me an email, and he asked about each and everything. At that time, he appreciated me a lot, the knowledge I got from that the tour, the education tour from Rasa. At that time, G.N. Rao also tried to come in Nepal, but the time did not afford him. At that time, it was in his like that in hospital. He was admitted in hospitals, and at that time, hospital also he used to write me emails, and his words with all the members of his families, and also the souls of the participants of his colleagues, his friends, and everyone will get such teachings, and we should keep alive his missions for ever, and it will run forever. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We shall certainly take up his, continue carrying his missions, definitely. And I think there is Bernie Mayer in the group. I request him to say a few words.
I'm Bernie Meyer from Washington State, and I had the honor to be invited by Rao to Visakhapatnam and universities in that area. And he accompanied me on the train there and back, and that was a wonderful experience. My background is I'm activist against the Vietnam War in the 60s, and then took up nuclear weapons resistance in the 70s through now. And in that process, I was asked to bring Gandhi's message to India in 2005, which I've done annually. And that's what Rao invited me to Vietnam. So I've met some of you in this process, and I am a supporter of the global network, but not like you folks. I'm with the nuclear weapons system, the Trident submarine base. We resist the Trident submarine in Western Washington State. That's threatening the world. But I'm known as American Gandhi in India. And I was invited by the Indian government in 2018 and 19 to give a message for Gandhi's 150th anniversary. So my message to the government of India was, I'm not optimistic. To honor Gandhi, I recommend you take up eliminating nuclear weapons with Pakistan. That was the message that they gave me 2 minutes. So I think Rao contributed to this process of me becoming known in India. And I feel that we are brothers, and we are all brothers and sisters in what we are trying to do. I'm deeply honored. Thank you.
Sir, you are a Gandhi, sir? You are
Pardon?
Indian Gandhi. Indian Gandhi. Sir, you came to beach, Visakhapatnam beach, you came, and the Gandhi's attire. And that day, so many people admired by seeing you. Real Gandhi came to Vizag beach. Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir. You came to Visakhapatnam beach. There are many people at Visakhapatnam beach. We came, and that day, Officers Club also we had a dinner. So remember us, sir?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for having your presence.
Thank you very much, Bernie Mayer. So many of them have sent their messages. I just want to read out some of the messages who could not personally attend today. So one from Neela Devia.
Hello.
Bruce, can I go ahead? I have some messages from the members. Dave?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So there is a message from Leela Devia, and she says that she was very saddened to hear Dr. Rao's passing and was wondering why she could not hear from him in a while. And she had been to Huntsville, Alabama in 2018, and right in front of her house, they have taken some pictures. So she has shared some of the pictures which I forwarded you, Dave. And also there is a message from Indore. His name is Mukund Kulkarni. And he also left a message that he has organized National Disarmament Convention at Indore in 2012, and which was inaugurated jointly by Rana Bhagwan Das, former Chief Justice of Pakistan, and Justice A. Ahmadi, Chief Justice of India. And even Rao was involved in that, and with his guidance, he could conduct this. That's what he says. And there was a message from Radha Ishtasamy, and he wanted to convey deepest sympathy to the relatives, family members of Rao and other members of the global network. So these are the few messages which I have right in front of me. So with this, we come to end. And I thank you everyone, all the members, acquaintances, family members, everyone, to gather here in remembrance to Rao, to celebrate his life. And I'm unable to believe that he's no more with us. So he has come to Vizag. Whenever he came to Vizag, I made sure I go and meet him, and we have discussed. And that is when I have witnessed his immense passion to serve the cause and the fighting spirit for peace. So today, I finally personally express my heartfelt condolences to his family members. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much for the Global Network and Bruce Gaganan and Professor Aruna organizing this condolence meeting in memory of Comrade Narayana Rao. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Aruna.
Bye.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Gaganan.
Thank you,
Thank you, Gaganan, sir. Bruce.
Thank you very much for attending all the people on behalf of Global Network Indian chapter.
So thank you, Prabhakar.
On behalf of Visakhapatnam chapter, we are paying respect to all the members who present here.
No, on behalf of Indian chapter, Global Network Indian chapter, we thank everyone who participated elsewhere from the world. Thank you. Thank you, Aruna. Thank you very much.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Thank you, Anand. Ramesh.
Thank you very much.
And everybody. And Osha.
Thank you very much for the Global Network for organizing the International Remembrance Meet on the sad demise of my father. I request the Global Network to put us in the mailing list any activities or any events we will pursue and participate in the events by the Global Network.
Okay, we will.
Thank you, Web. Thank you, Web. Web and Gaganan.
See you all.
Gaganan, sir. Bruce, sir. Good evening, sir.
I hope someday soon I'll be able to return to India.
Will you come to Visakhapatnam?
Yeah, yes.
I hope so.
Bye.
అరుణ గారు థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. నో ప్రాబ్లం.
చాలా బాగా కండక్ట్ చేశారు.
అరుణ బాయ్.
బాయ్.
అరుణ్ గారు థ్యాంక్ యూ. చాలా బాగా కండక్ట్ చేశారు. మా మామయ్య గారు అందరికి మళ్ళీ గుర్తింపు చేశారు. ఆయన కోసం చాలా విషయాలు చెప్పారు. మీరు చాలా బాగా కండక్ట్ చేశారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ అరుణ్ గారు.
జగన్ సార్ బాయ్.
Thank you, Aruna ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, all of you. Please be safe. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
comrade Narayana Rao को लाल सलाम, comrade Narayana Rao को लाल सलाम, comrade Narayana Rao को लाल सलाम.
सभी लोग 2 मिनट के लिए मौन रहेंगे.